is a suburb of Cardiff. It's got about 14,000 people living there. And in 1852, the South Wales Railway owned a station here. And I've come down really to see what's left of the station. Are there any clues to it being here? And to find out a little bit more about what it was all about. It's always great to have some clues to where the station is. And you can see these houses here are in Station Terrace. And if we look at the National Library of Scotland side-by-side map, we can see this building would have been here as well. The railway itself is just there, just behind that green fence. Now, it was an unusual setup because it was a two-platform station with a footbridge across, but from the south side where I'm standing now, you had to go over a bridge to get onto the platforms, and the bridge would have been roughly here in front of, again, what's marked on the map as this pub, which is currently empty and up for sale. If you're looking for a building, then yeah, I'm sure they'd welcome all comers. It's a bit of a mess down here at the moment. But the bridge would have come up from here, and what is interesting is behind these plastic barriers you can see what would have been a footing for the bridge to have dropped down onto the station, and that's still intact today. As well as the station, there was also a branch that went off to a brewery called Crosswells. It was a very large brewery and used to transport goods in and beer out. To the south of the station was another brewery called the Ely Brewery, and not far from that, a vinegar brewery, and that went by the name of Chivers. To the south of the station was Ely Paperworks, which opened in the 1870s. Closed in the year 2000, is now completely redeveloped. But in this aerial shot of the mill, you can make out the station with its overbridge, and in the background, Crosswell's Brewery. Today the paper mill is gone. It was latterly used as a filming site, actually. For those of you in your Doctor Who and know your Doctor Who, it's where Christopher Ecclestone defeated the Nesting Consciousness. And if you're not, that statement would mean nothing to you. So let's get back to the station. So after the grouping in 1923, when the South Wales Railway was taken over by the Great Western Railway, the Great Western Railway added the suffix main line to try and make sure there was no confusion between Ely and Ely in Cambridgeshire, which if you do a Google search on Ely Station, you'll find lots and lots of pictures of. So today where the brewery was, there is housing, and the sidings would have come sort of up the side here. And in actual fact, there was one, if you look at it, would have come along here, and where the summer house is on the side of this pub behind the coach would have stretched from there right out into the yard behind. And that siding is of quite interest, really, because in 1927 it was given the go-ahead to use that siding in order to transport horses. Why horses? The answer can be found by looking again on the National Library of Scotland maps. You can see quite clearly a racecourse. This was Cardiff Racecourse, or Ely Racecourse as it was known. It opened in 1855 and the first race was held in the May of that year. By 1864, racing at Ely was a regular event, and in 1895 the first Welsh Grand National was held at Ely. It was watched by over 40,000 people, many of whom didn't actually pay because they charged the entry gates. With the station opening a few years earlier before, it was a match made in heaven, and many people used the station to get to the races. Special trains often ran from West Wales, Bristol, and even as far as Birmingham. And where I'm standing would have been right on the start-finish straight. Today, as you can see, there's nothing to suggest there was ever a racecourse here, and the council took it over in the 1930s. It ran down and sadly closed. Today, football being played over there, bit of one-on-one there, lots of kids hang around here. There's a skateboard park over the way. There's actually, believe it or not, a Roman villa here. So what relics exist north of the station? A few clues this side of the bridge, and I haven't filmed, I've just grabbed a couple of snaps. First of all, this pub was, until recently, had a banner up saying it was called the Railway. That seems to have disappeared. You can see this car park, and we're right by the side of the where the railway would have been. And in this car park in the corner, there is a small building. and I'm going to go around the corner, get up on the railway bridge and look back down on this and see if we can see it better. So getting up here now on the railway bridge and looking down, you can see that yellow bus and the pub there that was in my shot. So that's where the station was, where the green fence was. As we come over this way a bit, that brick building I took a picture of in the car park is just there. Pulling a bit, it's covered in ivy, but would have been part of the station setup. So there's not a lot to show there was a station here, but a footbridge base on the other side and that bit there. And by the way, this white house here would also have been originally part of the station. I didn't want to film around there because obviously it's not a residential area, but it is quite interesting to see there's some little stuff left. Incidentally, as I said, the brewery would have been roughly where those triangular roofed houses are, or shaped houses are. And it's quite interesting to see that yes, there would have been a branch off there into the brewery, would have been a big one with loads of stuff there. But if I just come around here, the tradition never really falls far from the tree. And there's Flowerhorn Brewery, who are a small craft brewery, have set up just down the road from where Cresswell's once was. So Ely Station declined after the racecourse closed. The sidings continued and after they stopped being used for racehorses. But in 1959, in the big review that Great Western Railway did of their stations in the area, along with some Fagans and a couple of others that I've featured before, it shut. So could Ely Station open again? Well, it's unlikely. As I come out of this road and look up, you can see this bridge. And when I get up to trackside, you can see this bridge in the foreground here, right by Warngrawn Park Station, and you may notice the masts that are going up because this is going to be part of the South Wales Metro tram train route. So this will serve the area extremely well, and the chances of ever needing a station at Ely is, well, absolutely minimal. And so that's it, the story of Ely Station. So from what would have been the start-finish straight of Cardiff Racecourse, please like, please subscribe, please share, and I'll be back for more soon. So until next time.